Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. You just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yes, and welcome in to the Wednesday Write That Down session here, gentlemen. The only show with the stones to put percentages and statistics next to our predictions here. How are we feeling on this Write That Down Wednesday? After an accountability session that we're going to get to, by the way, after the draft has finalized here, how are we feeling?
Not cocky. Not cocky, because there's a lot of predictions I don't recall at this point now. Like, you don't...
That's Judd's problem. He throws stuff... Yep. He'll make like a random, like Steelers prediction or something.
Yeah, well, they add up. But, I mean, they're fun when you're doing them. I wouldn't take away the high of predicting things. But, you don't know now. You just don't know. So, we'll see.
I pulled the opposite, Judd, where I actually kept track of the majority of my draft predictions. Maybe a couple slipped through my cracks, but I actually am feeling pretty good. I
always hate when those predictions slip through Declan's cracks like that.
Yeah,
it's always
you and other people in this house. But yes, exactly.
I was going to just say, okay. All right.
So before we get to an accountability session and explain how this works, maybe you discovered Purple Daily during draft week last week, and you're new to Write That Down. Well, we'll explain how it works, and then we'll have Judd shout out one of our friends here. So it's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable predictions. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. Our database goes back for Write That Down on Purple Daily to the 2021 calendar year. The Write That Down season starts and ends with the Super Bowl, so the stats refresh Super Bowl to Super Bowl. And listeners, if you want to be like Pete and participate yourself as a guest listener predictor, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. No, I do not want to restart my computer in 10 minutes. 4 hours. We're going to postpone.
How about 2 hours or an hour? How about
4 hours?
It only gives you 2 options. It says 10 minutes
really?
or 4 hours. Yeah.
That's all over the map. I thought it was like 4 options before. Whatever.
No, I do not want to restart. Actually, after the accountability session, maybe I will just sneak that restart in.
Smoke. Just starts smoking and then just blows up.
Well, if that happens, then I might have to make a quick trip run while my computer cools itself down. Judd, where should I go? How many quick trips are around?
You know what? I'd like to tell you a little story about a guy named JJ. He might be new in town, and he's driving down the road. Let's say he's going from Egan to, I don't know, let's say Woodbury. Perfect example, okay?
Yep.
He's driving down the road. He's
Is
low
that where
on gas.
Yeah, we confirmed that he has bought a house in Woodbury.
I
yet?
have no idea, but I'm just
guessing
saying,
he's more of a western suburbs guy.
I'm gonna go
okay,
with
he's in
that as
Minnetonka,
well.
but he's driving down the road. He needs gasoline. He needs groceries. He's a bachelor, and he's like, where am I going to get all
He's
of
engaged, by the way.
this?
He's very much not a bachelor, Judd.
Very much
Yeah.
engaged and happily engaged.
Okay, he moves here.
That's where he's going.
The
great.
gal's not here. All right? I'm not saying he's going clubbing.
Why is she not here?
I'm saying she's not here yet because she's got stuff to take care of at home. Who
No,
knows?
she doesn't. She's probably with him.
Who knows? So she's not with him. So he's driving down the road, and he needs to pick up. Well, first of all, he needs gas. Second of all, he needs groceries. And you know what he sees? He sees a Quick Trip. And he said, I can stop there and take care of all my needs. I can fuel up. I can get a delicious cup of Khyree coffee because that's what Sports Dad likes. And more importantly, I can get bread, produce. I can get dinner. I can get whatever I need. It's all at Quick Trip. So this guy, JJ, he learns that Quick Trip is the place to stop. Quick, easy, and a great value and variety at Quick Trip. And that's my story.
All right, let's get into the accountability session here, starting with Judd. And again, this is going to be a beefy accountability session because the draft just happened. So, okay, we'll see.
Okay.
Here. I think
Is this it?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that it?
that's it for Judd. Yeah.
No, there's not.
You guys are lucky that my button bar with the buzzer is freezing up here, so I might have to do.
The computer wants to be
buzzes.
Start that computer back up. It wants to be started back up so bad.
So you said Dallas Turner would be, we'll start with the bad ones here. Dallas Turner would be the first defensive player off the board. That was wrong.
Byron Murphy Jr., right?
I think he was the first, yeah.
Or okay.
And
Latu
it was
before him too.
who?
Latu went like 15. He went like 3 picks also before Dallas Turner.
Yeah. So he wasn't even close to the first defensive player, but he was a great value for the Vikings.
Yep.
You said Malik Neighbors would be drafted ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I tried to will that into existence. Didn't come close.
You said the Vikings would have at least one day 2 draft pick. JJ McCarthy will be a top 5 pick. And one of the top 3 teams, Bears, Commanders, Patriots, would not take a quarterback with their first pick in the draft. But you did redeem yourself. This is a touchdown here. You said there'd be a credible report by the end of 2024 that the chart, I mean, you put it out there for like the whole year. And it was confirmed on draft night that the Chargers were in discussions about trading Justin Herbert and drafting a quarterback themselves. So I think it was more other teams driving that on their behalf. Hey, you guys like J.J. McCarthy, we heard. Well, what's the deal with Justin Herbert?
Right.
But that was, according to Schefter, that was the
Schefter's
nature
credible.
of those discussions.
His sources told him.
And then you said there'd be exactly 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Okay. You know what? I'll take that for the draft.
Yeah, you avoided incorrect predictions more than you racked up the correct ones. Mine was sort of mixed. I'm a little disappointed in my draft performance. A lot of red here. We'll start with the red. Vikings will draft Drake May. I made that prediction last week. I kind of came around to all the steam and the hype, whatever. Should have stuck to my guns. Cowboys will draft a quarterback this year at some point. They did not. Vikings will trade up in the first round, but they won't give up the 23 or a 2025 first round pick. So this is wrong on an unforeseen loophole. Because the spirit of this was the 11th, like the 11th pick they would trade up.
Yeah.
I didn't play the game right. I didn't think about the 23rd pick. So they did give up the 23rd pick in the trade up to 17.
Different trade. Yep.
But based on the wording of this, it's an incorrect prediction. I can't even fight it. I said there'd be an arrest or a legal related story involving another top. So Tavondre Sweat was the inspiration here. I didn't see any. Top 100 players didn't get in trouble. I said there'd be exactly one defensive player drafted in the top 10 of the draft. Well, the Falcons screwed that up.
Yes, they did.
I said one of the first 3 picks the Vikings make will be a wide receiver. I said the Vikings would take Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa. And that there'd be 2 trades within the first 5 picks of the NFL draft. So if you're ever wondering whether we know what we're talking about on this show, there's your evidence right there. But I did say that either J.J. McCarthy or Drake May would fall to at least the 8th overall pick. I said early in I think I said this like right after Thor's rant in February or whenever that was, that J.J. McCarthy would be a top 13 pick in the NFL draft. The Vikings will draft one of these 3 quarterbacks, Penix, McCarthy, or Nix. And the Vikings would trade up at least twice between March 27th and the end of the draft.
All right.
A little salvaging there.
Okay, yeah. Came around at the end.
Go.
Okay, listeners.
Oh, boy.
We'll start with Bob here. Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob. I'm sailing.
This is bad. It's a lot of red here. I'm not going to hit the buzzer on all these, but Bob said the Vikings would draft Cooper DeJean or Torrey Taylor. Nope. Zachariah said by the time the draft is over, the Vikings will not make any of their original draft picks. The original picks being 11 and 108. Well, they made the 108.
Yeah.
So
that hurts. That does hurt. That's a bad beat. So close.
McCade said the Vikings would draft Drake May and he would win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Oh. Griffin said the top 5 picks will be in this exact order: Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. We're feeling good. Feeling good.
Oh, God.
J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. Chargers, though. That was going way out there a little bit.
Well, I mean, you assumed a trade might happen.
Yeah.
Griffin also said the Vikings will make only 1 pick in the first 3 rounds of this year's draft. Jeff said the Vikings would trade down to one of the last 5 picks in the first round. Merrick said Kwesi will draft 11 players. He'll pull a Rick Spielman and draft 11 players.
Oh no, Merrick.
Au contraire.
James said in a parlay, Vikings won't pick at 11. He was right. And they'll make 9 picks, and 4 of them will be along the offensive and defensive line. They made 7 picks. Lane said Vikings draft Bo Nix. Austin said Vikings draft Michael Penix. Marshall said Kwesi moves up to a top 5 pick in the draft. Incorrect.
Yeah.
Really rough. The listeners did have 3 correct predictions. Tony said J.J. McCarthy will not be a top 6 quarterback in the draft.
Oh, nice, Jeremy.
Jeremy with a touchdown here said the Vikings will draft a kicker on day 3.
Nice work, Jeremy.
And then Jeremy, to round out his 3-for-3 appearance on Write That Down, said the Vikings will not draft at their original selection in the first round.
Very nice.
Jeremy went 3-for-3 on his prediction, so congratulations to Jeremy. Okay, Declan. We'll start with the bad here. You said Bo Nix would not be drafted in the first round. No faith. Vikings will draft at least 1 running back in this year's draft. Vikings' first 3 picks in order would be a quarterback, right? A defensive tackle, incorrect, and then offensive line. Between now and the end of night 1, we'll see 3 teams involved in one singular trade, a 3-way trade in the NFL.
Trade.
Very rare.
NBA, like you had a Nuggets, Celtics, and Pistons type.
Yeah, it was NBA. Yes, it was a spirit from Miles. Miles threw that out there on a Purple Daily on draft. I stole Miles' idea basically for my own personal game. Wow. Write that down.
And now you're selling him out. And now you're selling him out.
No, I'm not selling him out.
This was a terrible idea.
This was me.
That clown Miles.
Miles.
Michael Penix will be drafted by one of these 3 teams: Cowboys, Seahawks, or Vikings. Another team will trade its first-round pick before the draft starts. Nope. Did not happen. No. Chargers will trade the 5 overall, and only 2 quarterbacks would go in the first 3 picks of the draft. Rough week for Declan. Except for maybe the most correct predictions in any singular week in the history of Write That Down. This is 10-point font here, folks.
Wow.
You have to squint to see this on YouTube.
Acknowledge me.
This is legitimately, I don't think it's close. I don't think anyone has ever racked up this many correct predictions in one week in Write That Down history.
I'm pretty sure
full
you're
circle
right.
moment for was it 2 drafts ago? I literally went like 0 for 20. Like I didn't have a single draft prediction correct. So a big full circle moment here.
I believe this is 14 correct predictions here. The Vikings won't make their pick at 11. The first 3 picks in the draft in order will be Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. I know that's technically a 3-atom parlay, but we said because we already kind of know. Yeah, kind of know. Yep. Vikings will not give up next year's first-round pick before or at this year's draft. J.J. McCarthy will not be drafted until at least pick 5. Vikings will make no more than 7 picks. They have 9 going in. They did make exactly 7 picks. Jaden Daniels, the second quarterback drafted this year. At least 1 team in the last 5 spots of the first round will trade out of that spot. Here's a touchdown here. The Vikings will draft a kicker or a punter. No running back will be selected in the first 40 picks of the draft. The Vikings will draft at least 2 offensive linemen. The Vikings' projected win total will go up to at least 7 at credible sportsbooks. It's at 7.5 on at least a couple right now. The Vikings will not sign another offensive lineman during the free agency period leading up to the draft of at least $10 million a year. The Vikings will not take a cornerback day 1 or day 2. And Rich Eisen's 40 time will be over 6.14 seconds. It was 6.25.
All right.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Acknowledge this man.
Awesome. Bravo. Bravo.
So with that, Declan now has a 55.9 completion percentage as we get into the Q2 period of the Write That Down season. I'm at 39.3, which I feel pretty good about, actually. Judd, you're at 31.6. Listeners at 29.2. Everyone has 2 touchdowns except for me. I have 1. And then career stats, Declan, 37.4% completions leads everyone. I have 47 touchdowns, which leads everyone in that category. But, man, bow down, Declan Goff.
What a performance.
You can't scoff at Goff after that performance.
There's many things to scoff at me for. That is not one of them.
No, that was brilliant.
That's a man that took that. I think he took his draft performance personally from last season.
I took that personally.
And he put in the work. He started laying groundwork back in like January with these predictions. And here we go. So, all right, let's get our guy in here. Pete making his debut as a guest. Write that down, predictor. With that clean white Vikings hooded sweatshirt. What's up, Pete?
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
What's going on, man? How did you become a Vikings fan? What's your earliest Vikings memory you can share with us?
Well, I grew up, born and raised in Minnesota. I'm a third-gen Gopher currently. I'm a junior here. So born and raised around it, watched a lot of Vikings, Twins, Wild games growing up because my dad, huge pro sports fan. And earliest I can remember was watching the Vikings kill the Cowboys in 2009.
Yeah.
Only to watch Brett Favre blow the Super Bowl in the next game. So
yeah, that game against the Cowboys, Tony Romo, there was a little bit of nervousness, like, okay, the Cowboys are pretty good, the Vikings getting into the playoffs, and they just Judd and I covered that game, sat in that press box, and that was one of the more like cathartic, fun experiences for Vikings fans. And then the next game happened. Yeah.
Yep, I was still young. I was born in 2002, so I'm not quite old enough to obviously know like the 98 Vikings teams,
Right.
but that was the first truly good Minnesota team I ever remember watching.
Did you cry in 2009?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
So you
break
said
your heart.
You said you're a junior at the U of M right now?
Yep.
What are you going to school for? You majoring in hot takes, or what's your major?
Computer engineering.
Okay.
Wow.
So Peter is far smarter than anyone else on this show right now. So we expect some good
aside
predictions.
from Declan, whose performance can't be questioned.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to top Declan's performance.
Yeah.
So, we'll start with Pete, and then we'll go around the room here. Pete, Judd, Declan, back to me. 3 trips around the room, 1 prediction each time.
Write this down.
The floor is yours, Pete. Fire away, man.
All right. So I feel like I have to start off here with a draft-related prediction here. Currently, in the last 20 years, the highest sack number for a rookie in Vikings over that last 20 years was Danielle Hunter in 2015 with 6. And that was through 14 games. So write this down. Dallas Turner will have at least 7 sacks with at least 1 against Kirk Cousins.
Wow. I was just throwing that little vindictive drive-by right there.
And Kirk will fumble.
Oh, I hope so.
Kirk will drop the ball.
You guys can't let it go, man. You just can't let it go. Constant Kirk hate and drive-by.
And then guess what? Michael Penix replaces him because we trust Michael Penix more.
Oh, I couldn't believe they took him.
I know, wasn't it great?
Wasn't it amazing? And then they're trying to like justify it now, like, well, I mean, if you look at what the Packers do, it's like, okay, well, the Packers have to pay Jordan Love and just negated like all of the value of his contracts. Let's not give the Packers too many flowers yet. I would argue this too, because the Packers have waited so long to move ahead with the rookie quarterbacks they draft, they've like given themselves less of a chance to win Super Bowls. Like you're saying, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have been ready. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have been ready in like year 2 to play quarterback. People like, well, he needed 3 full years to even be able to like step foot on a football field. Like, no, you just clung to Brett Favre longer than you should.
And at least he was drafted before the salary scale for rookies. Like at least then you didn't have like now with Love, it was like, okay, the clock is ticking, but you're gonna sit for a few years anyway.
Yeah. So not that we're vindictive about these takes, but go, Judd, you're up next.
All right, I'm going to stay on the same train there, the Dallas Turner train. Dallas Turner will lead NFL rookies in sacks next season or in 2024. Dallas Turner will lead NFL rookies in sacks in 2024.
Okay.
Write this down.
The Dexter.
All right, I do have a couple schedule-related predictions, but I'm going to save those. So write this down instead. There will be a new addition and a subtraction from the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show.
Wow.
End date week 1 of this season. So, but by the time the season starts, there will be a new addition and there'll be a subtraction from the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. At least one. At least one new addition, one subtraction.
So if they add someone, but they shovel him in, that won't count.
Correct.
We will talk more about some of the big NFL broadcast shakeups after our write that down predictions, by the way. This is the time of year like May and June where broadcast contracts are up and you get movement. So we will talk about that. Okay.
Write this down.
This is kind of a parlay prediction here. So I think Will Reichard, the 6th round kicker from Alabama, I think he beats out the XFL guy. Okay. So I guess my prediction, I'll make the prediction this way. Will Reichard will have at least 5 made 50-plus yard field goals in the NFL in 2024.
Going Blair Walsh.
And I said in the NFL, not with the Vikings. I'm giving myself some backdoor.
What do you think he's going to zim him?
Daniel Carlson needed a different team to hit his 50-yard field goals. So I think KOC would be much more patient than like freaking out after week 2 or whatever. What week was that? Was it week 1?
It was week 2 in Green Bay, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just cut him.
Lambeau Field. And then Chris Thomason said, what brought about the decision? And Zimmer said,
You saw the game.
You saw the game.
He did the same thing with Kellen Mond, right? Do you want to get another look at him?
I've seen him practice.
Seen him practice.
I don't need to. I've seen him in practice.
And we made fun of Mike for being cantankerous and maybe a little bit mean-spirited, but in retrospect, I think he was correct about Kellen Mond. So
Write this down.
Okay, back to Pete. Second prediction.
All right, write this down. In the last 2 combined seasons, the Vikings have 3 total 2-score or greater wins. Write this down. In this upcoming season, the Vikings will have at least 3 2-score or greater wins.
Okay. And 2-score would be 9 points or more, right?
9 points or more. Yep.
Okay. Just to clarify.
So they're going to put their foot on the throat of opponents for the first time in a long time.
Oh, I hope so.
I like that.
Well, if they're feeling really frisky, they could try for the 3-score win, which is like an endangered species here for the Vikings. We've gone over some of those numbers. It's embarrassing. I mean, you look at like the Buffalo Bills and half their games every year are just them beating someone by 20 points or 25 points. You can count on one hand, I think, since like 2000, in 2017, they had a few of them. Mm-hmm. But basically like from 2018, and I won't say who was the quarterback. 2019, yeah, or 20 against the Chargers or something.
Yep.
So,
that game at the soccer stadium.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Won that by a bunch.
Phillip Rivers. Mm-hmm. Okay, Judd, your second prediction.
All right, J.J. McCarthy will play in 5 or more games next season. J.J. McCarthy will play in 5 or more games for the Vikings next season. Very carefully constructed sentence, will play in. So that doesn't mean he has to start 5 or more games. Mm-hmm. He will either start or come in relief or at some point in time take a snap. 5 or more games, though.
Okay. So it's going to be the Sam Darnold showcase. I would think that means Sam Darnold's doing pretty well driving this car too, right? If he's basically starting 10-plus games for this team.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be more. 5 or more. So who knows? Sam Darnold might be benched after week 4. J.J. McCarthy leads the team to the Super Bowl, a deep playoff run, 3-score wins. Who is this team?
Feels like a guy looking for completion percentage points here. Okay, over to Declan.
Damn right I am.
Couple schedule-related ones. I'll start with this one. I believe this is you guys tell me if this is a touchdown because I think I'm specific enough. The Vikings will play a Thursday night football game in September. If I say it's in the first month of the season, I only get 4 cracks at it. Is that enough for a touchdown? Because I'm being specific enough with the month.
Yeah, I think so.
With me, yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
So,
Thursday night football game in September?
Yeah, they're basically going to get one of the first ones. So
because it'd be like a 20. Am I right on the math here? I have to ask Peter. There would be like a 25% chance or something that would be the case.
Right.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
We're gonna put him
Peter,
on
can you just stick around the
Yeah.
rest of your life and help us with
be our
math on this show?
statistician slash math.
I guess technically, because if the season opens the 8th and we already know really the first one, they really only have 3 cracks at this.
They have 3 cracks. Correct.
So the 12th, the 19th, the 26th,
Yeah.
That'd be
For
the
a
only
touchdown.
one. So yeah, they'll get a Thursday night football game, but I think it'll be early. So write it
That's
down.
fine. Okay.
Because they did last year, right?
Yeah, Eagles. right?
Philadelphia
Second
week
week.
2
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
was Thursday night.
The Justin Jefferson pylon game.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Okay, I'm still stuck on draft stuff here, and I'm obviously stuck on day 3. I like some of the things here that are cooking. Now, people are going to say that this is a long shot because the Vikings' 7th round pick at 230 was Michael Juergens from Wake Forest, and so they picked him 230. He was ranked 446th on the consensus boards. So all the pundits and experts out there who rank college football players did not like the value of this pick. But he was a 6-year player in college. He played center and left guard, but he played mostly center, I believe, at Stanford, right? And then he was a left guard at Wake Forest. And he allowed only 7 pressures in 450 pass blocking snaps last year. So here's my prediction. Michael Juergens, despite all the hate from the consensus boards, will make the Vikings 53-man roster at some point in the 2024 season. So he'll be on the 53-man roster at some point in the 2024 season. Write it down. If he makes it right away, awesome. Otherwise, I could see practice squad elevation at some point.
Sure.
But Michael Juergens, my deep left guard sleeper
Write it down. You like writing things down.
for this team. Okay, Pete, your third and final prediction.
All right, last prediction. So at the time of recording, Justin Jefferson still has not signed a contract extension. So write this down. I think that Justin Jefferson's contract extension will be the highest AAV in dollar amount, but not the percentage of the cap of the time of signing, which would put it between like $34 and $38.5 million.
Okay.
AAV.
So repeat that one more time. So go ahead. Just repeat it so we have it.
It will be the highest AAV of any non-quarterback. So that's at least $34 million a year, but not the highest total percentage of the cap.
Got
So
it.
less than 38.5, I think is what it is.
Okay. Love it, man.
Which would be that 15.1% that Bosa's was last year.
Yep. We'll make sure we do some.
Yeah, Pete. We'll
deep
do our best with
calculations.
that. We'll farm that out to Rob Brzezinski of the Vikings and see if we get it right.
So, well, Pete, awesome predictions here. Since you've got this life-changing platform right now on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped get you to this moment?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank you guys for having me on, and I'd like to thank my parents for bringing me into this beautifully painful world that's been Minnesota sports in my lifetime.
Kind of.
Yes, thank you for having me, parents, and bringing me
Thanks
into
a lot for all the torture starting with 2009. You sick people that put me through.
So, all right, you got finals coming up here in the next week or two?
Yeah, I have one Saturday afternoon and then Monday morning.
Oh,
Saturday afternoon.
Saturday?
Why?
You guys get
It's a Saturday
Saturday
afternoon. I think
afternoon.
we had a guy on last year with the same thing. This
Why are we
Saturday
doing-
final.
Why are we doing
Yep.
Saturday afternoon finals?
I don't know. I hate them as much as everybody else does, but
pride on
they,
ice.
they told me to go there at 1:30, so
If things
From the
don't
B-
go
1:30.
well, what is the percentage of you entering the portal?
can it go above 100%?
Yeah.
Like you might not like your teacher now. They might. You know what? I'm just saying. There's a lot of good schools out there.
We should have transfer portal is open for engineering students.
Yeah,
I'm gonna open
academic
up my
achievement. Academic
wants-
achievement. You know what you
Who
tell
wants
them?
Peter.
This Saturday BS stops right now, or I'm in the portal.
Yeah. Going to Gustavus. Screw this. Amazing. Pete, great stuff, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you for
coming
having
on.
me.
Good luck with your Saturday
you.
final and your
Thank you.
predictions. Yeah, man, this is where I got myself in trouble a few times. Like I wound up getting B's across the board for the most
Saturday
part, but
final.
That's
I would just like
ridiculous.
play online poker in the back of all my classes, just like looking up once in a while to nod, like, oh yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
If I had
I'm all in.
if I had any chance in hell of actually interpreting correctly his Jefferson prediction, I would be very impressed, but I don't. Like, I know.
Can you repeat it back to us?
No, because it's, well, yeah, I think I can, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'll try right now.
Go ahead.
So the first part's simple. That he is going to be the highest paid non-quarterback AAV. We've known that. We all know that.
That's what he wants, yeah.
But it won't be the highest percentage of the cap.
Yeah, because it'll be Joey Bosa's AAV divided by cap.
And that's what
compared to Justin Jefferson's
I can repeat
AAV.
it back. I can repeat it back to you. Now ask me when this happens if I can actually interpret it correctly. Because the answer is no. I love the kids. The world, you know what? For as screwed up as this world is, I think there's a lot of bright young minds out there.
I agree. I think there are a lot of bright young minds,
Yeah,
but it's also like it's all
kid.
relative because we're just idiots who talk about football all day.
Right.
So everyone
but I'm
feels
just
smart
saying,
compared
for all the people my age now are like, oh, the world is screwed.
yeah.
It might not be. You got some good kids out there.
You know, if you're really smart, you know what you'll do? You'll go to Bachman's.
Hey.
Bachman's is a brand new partner here for us on Purple Daily and across Score North. By the way, Mother's Day is coming up, okay, kids? So there is volume on that.
It's Bachman's. Just let the volume play. Look at those beautiful noses in the song. I was really enjoying
I told
it.
Deck, I loaded those in and I said, I think our B-roll for Bachman's is volumeless, so we should be okay on that. But hey, it's time to roll up your sleeves, elevate your outdoor space. It's landscaping season. I know I got a lot of people in my friend group and family group that now that they have homes and whatnot, they've gotten way into landscaping. And so, guys, if you're looking for mulch, if you're looking for anything to up your game when it comes to landscaping and gardening, Bachman's is the place. Bachman's has locations in Minneapolis, Apple Valley, Eden Prairie, Plymouth, Fridley, Maplewood, and Cedar Acres, Lakeville. They have horticulturists too, Judd. Say it with me, horticulturists.
Horticulturists.
Yes, on staff to help you tackle any questions and needs. Like I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. Like, what kind of tomatoes should you grow? What type of peppers, from whether it's sweet peppers, is it ghost peppers? Like, there's all sorts of things when it comes to gardening.
Oh, be careful those ghost peppers.
So check them out. Bachman's in Minneapolis, Apple Valley, Eden Prairie, Plymouth, Fridley, Maplewood, and Cedar Acres in Lakeville. Speaking of outdoor season, Aquaside is here to help you clean up your murky lake areas, folks.
Yeah. We got 70s, I think, on deck on Friday. We were getting closer and closer to that lake season, okay? So when you get that dock in and you realize something has happened to that lake at the bottom of it and you have no idea what this gross thing you're stepping on is, our friends at Aquaside can help diagnose what's going on there. They have the Aquaside pellets, which is a do-it-yourself product that is a safe and good product to put in your lake. It's registered with the EPA and the DNR, and shipping is free at Aquaside. You can go to aquaside.com to learn more. Go to aquaside.com to take care of that nice lakeshore for you.
Okay, Judd,
Write this
third
down.
and final prediction from you.
Okay, I also have a Will Reichard prediction because I believe in the young man.
Prodigy.
I believe in the young man.
Yeah.
He will hit a game-winning field goal for the Vikings within the first 4 games, so the first month of the season, and I will define it just to give this clarity. It either will put the Vikings ahead to stay in the fourth quarter or will be a last-second field goal.
Okay.
So I want credit if he comes on at the tie game. There's time left, but it's still the fourth quarter, and that is the winning points.
Wouldn't that,
Got
isn't
that?
that all just covered in like the fourth quarter?
At least like
A go ahead for good.
I just don't want it to be mistaken as it has to be a last-second field goal.
Yeah, I got you. Because like this isn't the case in football, but like in hockey, a game-winning goal, if you score on the face-off, first period,
Yeah,
and
it's
you are up for
ridiculous.
good, that is technically a game-winning goal
Yep.
because it put you up for good for
Baseball-
the duration of the game.
Baseball, when I was a kid, used to track a game-winning RBI, but it was the same way.
like,
so like,
fourth inning 2-run homer.
yep,
Then
that
the
would be it.
bullpen throws a no-hitter the rest of the way.
Yep,
And
and I got credit for that. So anyway, so yes, the young man, I think he's going to have, you know what? I think he's going to have a nice rookie year. Nice and relaxed, calm environment. Coach likes him. Special teams coach likes him. I think he might have a good year.
okay.
Write this down.
Declan.
All right, write this down. The Vikings will get no more than 3 primetime games on their initial schedule release. So they'll get a Thursday night game. I don't believe that they're going to get a ton of love here from primetime.
They usually get at least like a division Monday, like a Bears Monday or Packers Sunday, right?
I believe with the Sam Darnold effect, I think they're going to stay away. Now, they could be flexed in, certainly, but that's why I'm going with the initial schedule release. They'll have no more than 3 primetime games.
I think I'm looking back at Judd's mock schedule, which, by the way, was universally loved across the board on the internet yesterday. I didn't see anyone criticizing the concept of a mock schedule.
Well, that's
yesterday.
very nice. I like that.
But you had the Week 12 game against the Jets.
I had 4 of them.
You had 4.
That was
just a lot to go around now.
That was a Monday, right? The Jets game?
Yes.
I could see, because the NFL loves to look for little storylines. I mean, obviously, Vikings-Falcons is a storyline. But Jets-Vikings is a storyline for 2 reasons. It's possible both starting quarterbacks could be playing, like Darnold playing the team that screwed him up and drafted him.
I thought, yeah, you're right.
And Rodgers playing his biggest rival over the years, the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
That could be a fun little. That could be a Thursday story. It could be a Sunday night or a Monday story, but that's definitely one to look at. Okay.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. I'm going 3 post-draft predictions here. So Khyree Jackson is the cornerback that the Vikings drafted out of Oregon. He's going to be 25 years old when the season starts. So he's one of the oldest players in that secondary, right? I think he's older than Booth Jr., older than Mekhi Blackman. He's like the same age as Byron Murphy Jr.
Yeah, he's a great
maybe a little bit younger. He's Alabama, Oregon, barely played at Bama, but like a really high-end cornerback prospect who was out of football for a while, 6'3". I think he's going to get some run. I'm trying to put this into context. I'm going to say this. Khyree Jackson will pick off a pass for the Vikings before the bye week, and I don't even know when the bye week is. I'm just going to say Khyree Jackson will pick off a pass for the Vikings before the bye week in a regular season game.
If you go with the Zolgadian mock, you know exactly when the bye week is.
Well, your bye week is week 9, followed
week 9.
by. Don't you
night.
have a bye week? Oh no, you have a Thursday night game.
Yeah, and then 17.
And then a bye week. So you have 17 days off.
a great respite. Everyone to recover. It'll be fantastic. Now, I guess the league could say we don't care that this time, and your bye week is going to be after that Texans game. But since the Vikings politic for that not to take place last time, I think there's a chance they'll do the exact same.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I'd love for you to hit at least a couple of these here. We've got it written down, and we think it's going to be next Thursday, right? Has the NFL
Thursday
officially announced that?
No, they'll announce it probably like next week at some point in time.
Okay. Epic, man. Dude, it's crazy. Like, so they're going to have basically a week and a half after the draft, a Thursday night primetime schedule that people can then talk about for like another week. So it doesn't feel like the NFL has taken any time off, even though a game hasn't been played in 2.5 months.
Well, they basically take July off before training camp, and that's it.
And June is filled for like the local fans with the mini camps and OTAs. And
OTAs start in May.
So if you're a team like the Vikings, you get to follow the coverage of J.J. McCarthy's first offseason camps and workouts and stuff.
You basically start that the last or the respite is like middle of June or so when that mini camp ends until training camp. But training camp you report in late July.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy, man. So those are the write that down predictions, the accountabilities.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
The only show in America that actually has the stones, the grapefruits, to keep track of our predictions with statistics.
Let's give it up for Declan again, too. One of the great performances.
That was legitimately, dude. Acknowledge this man.
Yeah.
I know sometimes we get a little cutthroat on the show and we try to undercut each other and, find loopholes, but not much to undercut there.
No.
14 correct predictions during draft season for the Dexter. Okay, we got to dive into some of the big broadcast-related news that came out during draft weekend or just afterwards, and some of it kind of got overshadowed. But a shout-out quick to our friends, our longtime friends at Federated Insurance. Some people often ask, what's the best thing if you're a fan of the show here, you're a fan of Score North, you're looking to help us keep growing and building this awesome community? Well, the two best things you can do are just consume our content and then like it, give us 5-star ratings, etc. Adulation for our fragile egos. But also supporting our sponsors and partners. And Federated's been around since day one here on Score North. And if you're a business owner, do you have a game plan in place to stay focused on safety and preventing claims? Well, let the team at Federated support your business. Federated Insurance offers a customizable lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management services to help you continue your winning streak. At Federated Mutual Insurance Company, which has been around since 1904, by the way, it's our business to protect yours. Go to federatedinsurance.com. Okay, gentlemen, couple really interesting NFL broadcast shakeups. Jason Kelce is set to join ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. RG3, after 1 year, is out off that show.
Yeah.
I think Randy Moss is still part of it. So it's going to be what? It'll be Jason Kelce, Randy Moss, Ryan Clark, Marcus Spears, and Scott Van Pelt.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
And then I'll throw this one out too, and you guys can react however you want to. CBS's NFL Today has said goodbye to the 1980s quarterbacks, Phil Simms and Boomer Esiason, and they've replaced those guys with Matt Ryan, a 2000s quarterback that's recently retired. And J.J. Watt goes from being a part-time contributor to full-time on that desk. So Matt Ryan, J.J. Watt full-time with James Brown, JB, Nate Burleson, former Viking, and Bill Cowher. No
Bill
news
Cowher's
on.
surviving.
I think he's thriving, man. Like he's
No, but I'm saying, like, if you think that they're trying to cherry pick the analysts that, like, the younger generation does not know, it's impressive that Bill Cowher held on.
Yeah, you gotta have a coach in there. But the crazy thing is, like, the narrative for the CBS moves is, yeah, I mean, they're getting rid of the dusty old cobweb 80s quarterbacks. By the way, who are both legendary broadcasters and quarterbacks. And Boomer Esiason still does the morning radio show on WFAN in New York. Like,
He's very relevant.
Very relevant. And Phil Simms. But you want to talk about old and dusty. I'm curious to see what Fox NFL Sunday does, if anything, because Terry Bradshaw is a 70s quarterback who's been on that show since 1994.
Yep.
Howie Long is a 1980s defensive dominant edge rusher, been on that show since 1994. And then Jimmy Johnson's been on that show for 25 years. In fact, the newest member of that show, Michael Strahan's been out of the NFL for almost 2 decades, like a decade and a half.
Yep. And didn't Jimmy Johnson leave to go coach the Dolphins and then came back? It's been so long.
And Chris Collinsworth was on that panel for a minute at some point, like 25 years ago. But
Yep.
yeah, but like, what do you make of the NFL broadcast landscape shifting here?
It pretty much fits with what the pattern has been, because CBS has been, I mean, they got back into the league. I think they got the AFC rights in 98-ish or so. And they've shown far more of a willingness to adjust and fire people and turn over that staff than Fox has. So I don't know that this means that Fox is going to make changes. I think we're at a point now where there's a very good chance that Bradshaw and Long and Jimmy maybe as well are going to be allowed to, like, decide when they decide to leave. I don't know that they're going to be shoved out. CBS far more aggressive. I'm a little bit more surprised on Boomer, just because while the younger generation doesn't recall him playing QB, to your point, Phil, he's still on the WFAN morning show, which is huge.
Yeah.
He's still way more like feels with it. My biggest complaint with Simms, and it's why he got moved out of the booth with Nance too, is he just always starts complaining about things. And I remember talking to him once for a story I was doing back when I did the TV column. I think I was doing something on Culpepper or something. I don't recall exactly, but I brought up the struggles of a quarterback, and he's like, "Well, that's how you guys always think. You guys always think it's so easy to play this position." And it was sort of like, dude, just stop. Come on. Your job is to give me takes, not to like lecture me about how I think it's simple.
He does feel a little lectury.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how Matt Ryan does, because he got a taste of the broadcast business in the booth on sort of a way back in the CBS depth chart team. In fact, I think he did the Vikings opener last year. He did an early season game here, but
he did.
But I'm curious to see that. But I think this fits the pattern. CBS far more willing to shake things up than Fox. And I know what Dex is going to say, and I don't disagree. I just don't know that they're going to change those things, Dex, until like Bradshaw says, all right, boys, I'm either sick enough now or I just am tired. I'm going home.
I mean, there hasn't been, this is Wikipedia literally like breaks this whole down by like a flow chart. There hasn't been a new addition to that show since Michael Strahan in 2008.
I know.
When did Tony Gonzalez come in?
Well, he was CBS.
Yeah, but no, he was Fox and then CBS or vice versa. He was on for a minute.
And and now he's on Amazon, and he's cardboard. He's the least entertaining of. You'd think he'd be better because he's like so polished, but
agreed.
It's not good.
And their additions have been like Rob Riggle was on the show, the actor, for like 7 seasons. Frank Caliendo was doing his impression, so we realized, oh, this is all this guy does. Cool. Let's replace him with Rob Riggle. Jimmy Kimmel was on there at the Millennium. Like, just give me something new. Outside of Brandon Staley, I think I have fired the Fox pregame show the most with Alex Boone during our hits during the regular season. I want to see something new, man. Just give me some fresh blood. I love what CBS is doing. And I like RG3 on ESPN. Actually, I'm a little bummed about that, but I'm appreciative of them shaking things up and realizing we can't just keep going with the status quo that we've been doing forever.
Yeah. It's funny because for a while there, ESPN was having a really hard time finding Monday Night Football commentators that stuck, a team that could break through. I mean, they were just kind of running through like the Steve Levy's and the Joe Tessitores and Sean McDonough's, and then even some of their NFL analysts. They were just. I feel like ESPN with Jason Kelsey coming on board. I think Ryan Clark is outstanding, and Randy Moss. Rex Ryan on the Sunday. Like, they've got some big personalities. And then Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. So, yeah, Fox feels a little dusty. Oh,
it's very dusty. It's very dusty, but I think it remains an old standby.
Okay, that's.
But, yeah, no.
It's comfortable, but is it.
You know what?
Would it be that hard to tell Terry Bradshaw at this point, hey, man, we're going to do kind of a Lee Corso thing where we'll do like a feature with you. We'll kind of we'll tape something with you during the week. You can just stay home and you can be part of it, but
it would make sense.
Yeah.
I feel like in the last 10 years or so, though, my interest in actual pregame shows has dipped so much because the information I want that is provided from the insiders on those shows is immediately tweeted.
Yeah.
Like I used to tune in for the, oh my God, there's going to be, the insider's going to come on and spew all of the information for today's games. And now it's just tweeted.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the long form or the stories, like the heart-wrenching stories they do.
The Tom Rinaldi stuff, you don't like that? Stuff,
I'm so tired of it.
Really? I mean, I kind of like the storytelling.
I don't mind that, yeah.
I'm tired of it. I'm just so tired.
Joe doesn't want to cry before watching football.
No, I just want you to break down the X's and O's sometimes. I just want to get information, go to the stadiums more, and they do that. But I don't know. I just get tired. And the show.
You need to know how hard the wind's blowing at Foxborough.
I'd rather hear about that, or I'd rather just now dip in at noon and start to watch a game.
Oh man! So okay, Dex and we'll keep track of the storytelling and text you the updates.
Yeah, Tom Rinaldi. Tom Rinaldi. Hey, every week. Hey, Tom, what's going to make him cry this week?
He's good at it. Hey, before we say goodbye, a hello to our friends at Dennis Kirk. All you motorcycle riding Ragnars out there, you ATV, UTV, dirt bike riding Ragnars. DennisKirk.com has over 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories, all the top brands. They also have a Ride Finder tool where you can enter your make, model, and the year and find parts that will exactly fit or close in an instant. Same-day shipping and free shipping on orders over $89. DennisKirk.com. DennisKirk.com. Okay, boys. So we've got, I think tomorrow, I've got a J.J. McCarthy discussion I'd like to launch into with you guys tomorrow. So we'll probably go back to some J.J. McCarthy talk. And then Friday, you guys are both out Friday, and Thor Nystrom will join me for a Feedback Friday, 10 a.m. Central Time, live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out. and plenty more ahead. We're looking forward to the mini camps, the OTAs, where we get to actually watch and get reports on the Vikings' new set of quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy.
First pick thrown, I'm going to sound the alarm.
He's a bust. Get his ass out of here. You should have given up a 2026 first for Drake May after one practice. Amazing. And then be sure to check out Flagrant Howls with this Timberwolves run. The Score North Twin Show right now with 9 straight victories for the Twins. We have a new YouTube channel for that, the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. And Judd's Hockey Show leading into off-season hockey speculation season as well here. So thank you guys for making Purple Daily one of the top football podcasts in America. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.